G'day! In today's video, I've got a Dell G3 that needs a back cover replacement due to failing mounting points of the hinges. We'll flip it over and have a look. We'll see a model number down here. We have the model number P89 or P89F, which I think is a 2019 edition. So what we're going to have to do to begin with is take off the bottom cover. So we need a Phillips head screwdriver. Relatively small one, don't need a large one for this job. And some of these screws may not completely come out. I find that the back ones on most Dells usually want to stay in there. And also I will mention if the screw length is different. Now I did own one of these quite a few years back. Actually, this was potentially one that I had sold that I did own. I'd say it's had a bit of a harder life once it left me. Especially going by the stickers, the cracks. Overall, what I'd classify as like smoke damage, which that is always fun to work with. Not. Okay, so all those screws there so far are the same length. Do have a USB installed on the side, I will unplug that. I don't think that really matters though. This one. There's a couple of reasons why we're going this approach. We need to remove the top half of the laptop to then be able to swap it. With all those screws out, or mostly out, you should be able to grab a spot to pry up. Down by its condition, it's happy to leave. That aside, if I look here, we have it mounted here. So once I get into there, I'm going to want to disconnect the battery, like so. And I'll go to here. I want to disconnect the LCD. Like that. And then I want to disconnect down here, which is the Wi-Fi antenna. We'll be able to zoom in on that for you. You're going to see that this bit comes off. The arrows point to the correct colours. 1, 2. Wiggle that out of the way. And from there, need to feed it through and under. Okay, and then these screws here need to come out. 1, all going well, the mounting points of this should be identical to the mounting point of my replacement. So far it is looking pretty spot on. Okay. And those screws are being stubborn, not really wanting to pull out. Okay. Go. One broken hinge. One broken hinge. Pull that out. And ta-da. I'll move that away just for a second. Before I make work on the screen assembly. Just want to compare the mounting points of this, which I'd say we are looking pretty darn good. So I'm then happy to proceed where this is matching up with down here, same with over there. I've got the right part to replace it with. These hinges are very tense. Okay. So these are basically bin worthy now. And hopefully we still have the screws in the display assembly. Now I'm going to turn my heat pad on over here. So this is going to heat up and soften the adhesive on behind the LCD. You can see here that it's ripped out. Whoop, where are we? It does seem to be ripped out the video connector over here. Hopefully there's no damage there. And I should just be able to take this off relatively easily. I say relatively. There we go. So now we need to transfer everything from in here to the new display, or the new back screen assembly cover. thing that's annoying me is the double-sided tape is peeling off the screen and staying with the back, not the other way around. They go a bit overboard with the adhesive levels, I find. Personally, they could tone it down. They do that so there's no backlight bleed. Also, it blocks out all the colour, so you don't see it just shining through the edges of the frame. Now, this is going to be where it gets tricky. So you can see that it's still attached down here. If you pull too hard, you can damage the display. But then you've got to use enough force to be able to actually move it. There we go. Got this going on over here. Feel like I put a bad band-aid. Straighten it all out over here. The next challenge is this screen is glued down. Unlucky for me, there seems to be no screws along here, which have already been lost. Luckily, I should be able to hopefully pinch a couple of these screws and reuse them. This is going to make it a tad... Oh, never mind. Never mind at all. We're already screwed in. Got the screws for the bottom hinge, we should be sweet. Next of all, I want to take out the display, so I usually heat it up a little bit, and then I use the pull tabs. Sometimes they break, sometimes they leave. We'll see. Brilliant. It's leaving. There we go. That should be enough to lift this side out. Get my finger under there just fine. If we go to the other side, should be able to do a similar method again. Grab the pull tab, break it, swear at it, hope for the best. If it does break, you can usually put a little bit of isopropyl in there, or I'd lift it up from the other side and try and pry under it from the back of it, more so than pulling it upwards. There we go. On display, up and out. Connection on the back still looks okay, so I'll put that aside for the minute. Excuse my cough. Spin this around, spin this around, and we're just going to make stuff match where it looks like it needs to go. So if I peel this up, it's probably the next challenging part here is the video connector for the webcam. Webcams are very fragile and tend to break when you try and pry them. Me using heat behind here is definitely helping, but it's not quite 100% the way to go. I'm going to put a bit of isopropyl underneath there and use a metal thin pry tool. Hopefully, with that combination, I can lift it without damaging it. Like so. Now I'll grab the other one, put it here. There's a couple of locator dots. One down here, one up here. I should be able to line that up over the top and just push down. Even though I used isopropyl, it should still be a bit tacky for it to stay. Fingers crossed. Maybe not. May have to use some double-sided tape for that one. If I put that there, run it down, Just running that cable down here, and whatever way it needs to twist. Not too sure yet. Actually, to say that, looks like it runs through here. I'd be guessing through that gap just here and connects up that way. I would assume. I may be wrong, but I'm going to go with that as the assumption. Anyway, I'm just going to leave that there for now. I'm going to put some tape over that, just so it doesn't wobble around while I'm working. And then next up, I need to move the Wi-Fi antenna cables out. On a scale of 1 to difficult, I find this one so far to be about a 2 or a 3 compared to what some of the machines are. Some of the HPs routing the Wi-Fi antenna cables are an absolute pain in the ass. This one does look to be relatively straightforward. So because of that, it only goes one side, it doesn't go up both sides. So I reckon it should be an accomplishable task for most people. So from here, I'm going to start with this Wi-Fi antenna over here. Do the same as what I did before. Isopropyl. A bit under here on this side. Under here, under here. Stuff evaporates, so you can apply it fairly liberally and won't have too much of a drama. No, this side's going to go first because it already had that lip. There we go, that's the white one. If you can avoid tearing these little pads, I would recommend that for sure, because I'm pretty sure it amplifies on the back here. It's already there. So if you do damage it, you're probably going to lose a little bit of Wi-Fi strength. So in turn, you're going to lose range. Let's keep going, all along there. So now this back assembly is basically rubbish. Because the one that I got is relatively more complete, I don't think I really need to do anything further with that. So I don't need to transfer anything else at the moment. Let me go back over here. What do we get here? Mark safety words beneath the AI, I think that says. There we go. No idea. So I'll proceed and put that other Wi-Fi antenna back on. If I can remember where it went. Granted, I could just look at my footage. I believe we went about here. And it's a matter of tracing where it should go. Sometimes easier said than done. But it should mean that this is the exact replica or even the same factory part as the other one. It should be pretty straightforward where it needs to go. The wire itself should almost have like a muscle memory, a metal memory of where it had previously been sitting. Most things that are usually made of metal will do a very similar thing where it just kind of lines up where it needs to go if you're transferring it to something else. Definitely saves some time, because then it kind of gives you a bit of a hint on where it needs to run before you actually do it. I've just switched off my heat pad, my blue heat pad. I no longer need it generating that same amount of heat as it may warp the plastic. Spin the camera this way. And this bit basically just kept rippling along. Up, down, up, down, up, down. A, B, A, B. Start, select. Now here's where I wasn't too sure where it goes, but I'll find that out more than likely once we go to put it on, or once we go to connect it up. Feed that down there maybe. Feel that that's kind of like how it would go. Next up, the screen. So I should be able to peel these blue bits off here. That's double-sided adhesive. That's how the screen stays attached in this particular model. I'll do that to the other side as well. Like so. And now I should be right to drop the screen, connect it up down the bottom here. The screen itself is quite filthy, but the customer never asked for a cleaning of that. I will probably clean it afterwards, but I don't know if it's still functioning, so it's best just to make sure it does work before going to the extra mile. This should just clip in. There's a little latch there that clips on, so I should be able to push pins in. As I say that, I'm very stubborn. I'm not seeing the latch, and I think I'm seeing a bent or damaged pin connector, which doesn't surprise me being the condition that this was brought in. I'm not sure if this is going to function. I guess all we can do is try. Worst case, this cable here will need to be replaced as well. Funnily enough, I think I've got one somewhere around here. There we go, that connected up a lot better. It's nice and flush all the way along. Hopefully those bent pins aren't causing too much drama. If I flip this over, fold it down. We should try and arrange it to get into, we've disconnected. As I see, this one has no latch on there. So I was running purely on that cable, or the adhesive of this strip, holding it. So we'll have to try that again. I'll have to stick it there. Then I'll probably have to get a bit excessive with the adhesive. And by adhesive, I just mean some double-sided tape. Hopefully hold it in that correct position so it's all assembled. Put that there. I'll need to put another one over here. This stuff may be a little bit too thick, but it's going to do for the moment. I believe it ran down under here. At least so it looked like. I'm just going to line it up over there. Drop down. Drop down. I know the smoothness on this hinge right down here. I'm going to assume it sits on top of that, or very well may go under it. I'll leave the top assembly off just for the minute and bring over the laptop. And this should hopefully get me a bit more clues on where stuff needs to go. Go over there, under there, and fold this down. Like that. That's going to go in that groove there. So I should be able to put these screws back in. 1, 2, and that folds around this way. This is going to go down here, and that looks like it will go in the groove, and under and through. Okay, with that knowledge, should be right to take the screen back off. Connect up, put the cover back on there, make sure it sits relatively flush. There are 2 screws falling out. I have lost one somewhere along the mission. Fold that over. Go. Go, move that out of the way. Put the trim back on. Some of this is going to be clips. Some of it's going to be the adhesive holding it. As you can see, that double-sided adhesive there is not quite lined up. I'll correct that later, as I'm still not sure if this screen is functioning. As I said, it's had a hard life. This bit here looks to be a tad broken. It doesn't want to interlock. There we go. There we go. We're right to put the screen back on, or the bottom assembly back on. like that. Fold this back over once more. Fold this one back over once more. Now I probably need to pre-feed this actually. Does it look like? If I can get that to line up properly. There we go. So we go through here and then under. There we go. Under here we go. And something like that. Now put those screws back in once more. So you just need to screw them into where the arrows are pointing. There we go, there's that one attached. I need to find my missing screw. Nope, not on the machine. Not in the screw holder. We ran away. Luckily I'll have a substitute somewhere around here, which I'll give this one a try. Nope, we're a fraction too big. Not what I'm looking at. It should hopefully be just right. There we go. That will substitute just fine. Feed this over, through, connect up the video connector, which is a matter of lining it up over the top and push down. Should make a little bit of a crunch going in. Next up, I've got the wireless card, connect up the battery, and then from there, I should be able to power it up and test it out. And hopefully, I'll have an image. If I don't, then either the video cable is damaged, or the LCD didn't, or is disconnected, or LCD has failed, video connector has failed, or the LCD is broken. They're probably the three possibilities. Or the video connector on the main board isn't connected properly either, which you should be able to test out by connecting it to HDMI. I'm going to take this out here. Let's connect them up first. A weird bit of torque to them, and I want to twist, which makes this a fair pain. Actually, I'm going to screw the Wi-Fi antenna card down, so I don't have to worry about holding it. We'll take the little cover back off it and put it back on in a sec. We go like this. Line up an individual one. One at a time, push down on top, should click into position, and I should be able to twist it, like so. Should hopefully be able to do the same with the black one just here. There we go, that is on also. Now I need to unscrew this one, put the little cover back on it. Can't say I've seen these little covers too often on Wi-Fi cards, but I guess Dell really doesn't want them to fall off. Okay, like that. Now that is aligned. We're aligned, we're aligned. We should be right to put the bottom cover back on now. This one, bottom cover, my mistake, one last thing, connect up the battery. Like so. I've still got the 4 screws in the back here. They've all stayed. So I'm going to kind of hook it over the back and pull it forward, and then push down. That should mostly click into position from there. From there, you should be right to put the remaining screws in the bottom of it. So the 4 long ones are at the back. The remaining smaller ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, are along there. And from there, hopefully, you've now got a new back cover on your Dell G3. Hope that helps, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye.